Audience, I saw the sign. You opened up this stream. I feel like I can't freewheel more Ace of Base right there, so I'm not going to try. This is Battletech, Gentlemen of the List, the 7th episode, I believe. If Bob's episode count is to be believed. Not that I keep track of those things, even though I'm the one running this particular stream. Welcome back, friends. This episode will involve crimes and due process, and there's nothing I hate more in a tabletop RPG session than people in a trial, because players will immediately be like, I jump up on the table and I say this thing, and I'm like, none of that would be, that's not how a courtroom works. None of that works like that, but
yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
Instead, they're being investigated, which is not the same thing as being on trial or in a courtroom. That said, several of them have committed very serious crimes, including fraud, cooking some books, so probably a little blackmail, extortion. We set somebody up for crimes, so that's conspiracy, art forgery, art theft, murder, for sure. There have been killings, whether you'll be blamed
All
for
I
it or
did
not.
was murder a comrade.
Now, yeah, that's the start of the reason they're sending people down there. And I know that some of us believe that we're above the noise, that we haven't committed any sins, but there's this outstanding issue of consistent communication with local state actors, including a romantic relationship developing over unsecured communications. So there's a question about certain communications officers' loyalties and where they lie, and maybe if he's thinking more with his pants than with his citizenship.
Not likely.
Yikes. And on top of it all, some of you have decided that Ernst Zimmer, the new fourth man for your band, who is occupying your friend's Battlemech, maybe he's going down for some or all of these crimes. So Ernst Zimmer, truly innocent, has done nothing wrong, tried to have a beer and a buffet with you guys, and most of you blew him off, and now, conceivably, if your lies hold up, he could be going down for criminal capital punishments that will result in his death, and probably very serious restrictions to his family as well. So hey, that's just the catch-up to get you up on this. Let's go ahead and talk to Mark about being Mark.
Alright, well, all I can say is that was all his mistake. Other than that, hi, I'm Mark, aka The Gets Me Out, and today I will be playing Rahul. Rahul Chastain, the noble criminal. Noble is in the royal, not as in good. He's just kind of been a bastard this whole time, committing a lot of crimes, and now I'm gonna force it all on someone else and have them take the fall for it. So, look forward to that.
Cool. Bob, before we do your intro, you gotta zoom me out, man. You're way too locked in on me in frame.
Okay. I think the audience likes it. I think they like to see it. Like,
no, I hate it though. I hate it. I don't care what the audience likes.
If I can't count individual pieces of facial hair, then I'm not invested.
That's what I heard. It was Thomas. Blame Thomas. He's the one who did
Scary. That's truly scary. All right. Once you finish doing that part, you can also introduce yourself on your own stream.
Okay. I will try to multitask, and it'll go poorly here. So let's see how that goes. God damn it. We'll work on that, AP. We'll work on it.
Okay.
Would you like me to feed you your lines?
Yes, please do. That'll be funny.
Your name's Bob.
My name is Bob. Keep going.
You run a Pendragon stream.
Is this one of those clapping ones? My name is Bob.
I run a Pendragon stream.
Yeah, I run a Pendragon stream. And
I will be playing
Pascal LaRue. What I thought was going to be like just kind of a shady character has turned out to be a rather monstrous character. So we'll see how that all works out in the long run. I'm not sure how I took that dark twist with this character, but it happened. So war, man, I'm gonna blame war. So Okay, that's all I got.
Thomas, what do you got for us?
Hello, that's me. My name is Thomas, and I'm going to be playing Louis Gabrielson, a common-born man. All of his mistakes are well documented and admitted to in all accordance to due process. That's going to be a rope around my neck. He's done things, but mostly they've all been official. And he is the pilot of the Raven mech.
You forgot to add most delusional of the three of us too, apparently. So.
Wow.
at least Raul and Pascal are owning up to their failures. You're like, all I did is shoot somebody. That's it. All I did is shoot my comrade. And
He's admitting to it, and it's well documented.
Oh, okay.
That's the problem.
Just kidding. It should be fixed, AP, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get started if you guys are.
Let's do it. It's now or never.
So, a series of very small, like, jeeps preceding a armored car approach, and Lieutenant Senior Grade Leonia S. Lawrence, wearing a Free Worlds League, which is your Merrick Allies uniform, steps out. She's got the like, all of you are mech warriors, which means you wear a giant helmet that covers your brain and sits on your shoulders in order to pilot your mech. She has helmet hair for sure. Like, her hair is very short and has been permanently plastered to the side of her face. If she had shoulder length hair, she would for sure have that 20-something girl next door, neighbor, blonde hair, blue eye. If this is the kind of thing you're attracted to, pale skin. But instead, it's a bit more, militant than normal. Kind of like those IDF recruiting pictures. If you know. They really like putting attractive women in uniform and then putting them on propaganda posters, which it's a good call, honestly. She is looking around at this base, trying to figure out who she's supposed to talk to. She is completely lost.
I am willing to bet the person in the best clothes is our current commander.
I think we had established that Raul was gonna do the.
So here,
Yeah.
here is a very important question based on how you just phrased that. Are you in uniform or are you wearing nice, noble clothes? I'm asking all of you.
Yeah.
that.
What would be the?
I am in uniform.
What would be the appropriate etiquette uniform? Probably.
So you're mech warriors, and most of you are nobles. You can do whatever the hell you want, as far as the Canopian military is concerned. Technically, you should be in some sort of fatigues or jumpsuit, something that would allow you to quickly get into your mech. That said, you are also gentlemen, right? And so peacocking and attracting partners is a large part of your purpose in the war effort. And some people are into the jumpsuit / dress down uniform / class A aesthetic. Some people prefer fashion.
Now, Louis is absolutely going to go with over-the-top fashion.
You are Pascal. I am Louis.
Pascal,
I can't go with
I do that all the
fashion.
time. I do that all the time. Pascal.
Why did you make me wear the tricorner?
You know what it was? Because when I originally wrote this character, I had Louis down, and then you introduced your character first. So
Yes.
I did switch. Yeah, I think Pascal will absolutely do like over the top, French Canopian inspired wardrobe. Nobility looks like something that could have, if not for the sci-fi tweaks on it, would very much look like it could fit right in the Napoleonic era. So
What about the rest of you?
I'd say Rahul is most likely within his military uniform, if not like be like a, because we're like officers, aren't we? So we'd have like officer coats, basically. Very, very French, very Napoleonic kind of officers kind of uniform.
Louis, in a past life, was part telemarketer, part cultist. His nice clothes are the officer's clothes. He is wearing his uniform.
So she approaches you, Louis, and says, "Excuse me, I'm looking for the commander of the base."
You have found him, and he directs one hand to Pascal Leroux.
And looks like when you say that, she's like, "Ah, it's you," and then you're like, "This guy over here," and she's like, "Huh."
He's got one of those really
Yeah.
like obnoxiously bad smiles too, keeping with that charisma 8 that he's rocking. He's like,
This is Commander Ensign Pascal Leroux.
Ensign, I am Lieutenant Senior Grade Leonia Lawrence. I am here to audit your unit.
understood. Well, where would you like to start?
I'd prefer to talk to the three of you. I'm assuming Mr. Rahul Chesthang is nearby.
Are you right here with us, Mark?
I'd say he's not far away.
Okay. I'll be like,
He's probably like
yes.
making his way over with like a clipboard or something.
Oh, there's Raoul right there. Caught him.
And you have an auxiliary to your lance, Ernst Simmer. I'll need to speak to him and the security forces who have responded to these incidents.
Understood.
I have a list of the personnel involved in a number of things. He's got the huge like brick laptop kind of thing / data pad.
She'll take that from you and say, "I will need you to revoke the clearances of all personnel involved in this incident following the Free Worlds League safe procedures. So I will need you, Commander, to revoke all of the personnel that are on this list, and then finally revoke your own access to base facilities, electronic intelligence, until this investigation has been completed."
Do I know if this is standard procedure?
It's not, and you can see that she's uncomfortable with this. You also know that the intelligence services of the Free Worlds League, SAFE, are generally considered like a joke, right? Like, you guys are from a small third world country, essentially, and even there, it's still considered, when people talk about Mark intelligence services, they're like, SAFE, yes. It's like a bucket that has a hole in the bottom, has no real purpose. Entirely bureaucratically functional.
Highly corrupt?
Is SAFE corrupt? Yeah. SAFE. So the problem with SAFE is that it's highly factionalized. Like, the Merrick is like a group of large member states that have ethnic and cultural lines. Like, there's the Americans, there's the leftover Habsburg royalty from real Earth Habsburgians. There's the cowboy Mexico. They call themselves the Jew boys, are Israeli immigrants who moved to like Texas, have their own planet, and they call themselves the Jew boys. Like, you understand that like the Native American, cowboy, Jew boy, Russian planets don't all get along very well, and they definitely don't get along with like the Habsburgs and the America place, and like all of these places send people to the federal government and to SAFE, and they just continue their culture wars with each other inside of the government. I know it might be difficult to imagine a sort of federal structure where culture wars are taking place between bureaucrats as Americans.
Good thing we don't
from
have
the
that
1980s.
in our modern nations. But yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so SAFE is basically like completely paralyzed by this. And it actually gets slightly worse because the only thing that all of SAFE can agree on is that cybernetics are bad, and Word of Blake or Comstar might be good, but might not be good.
Those bastards. Comstar is fantastic. But in regards to that statement, I think Louis frowns as well. Lieutenant Senior Grade Leona Lawrence is from the Magistracy, right?
Nope, she is from the Free Worlds League. She is
Okay,
an ally that
very
is
bad.
being brought in here to audit your unit because your people don't have any spare personnel because some of your people are now dead. You know what I mean? Like,
I think Louis'
yeah, it is very
eyes
bad
flick.
for you. Yeah.
Yeah, Louis' eyes flick over to Pascal's because there's a definite worry Louis has that if they kick all of us out of any official capacity and then insert their people, it's going to be a nightmare getting them out. But it is a game of ranking.
Yeah, I think. Well, the command's coming from above Pascal's head. So the question is,
Yes.
were we smart enough to talk about this ahead of time? What happens if Merrick inserts their protocol? Because we're technically not like would we be allies or conscripted to Merrick? How does that
You
work?
are allies to them, but
Yeah.
you have been ordered to cooperate with this situation by your
Okay.
immediate superior.
That's true. That's true. So, I think in that case,
But that
Pascal-
said, you don't have to cooperate, right? And even if you do cooperate, you can still slow roll the whole investigation and just be like, oh, sorry, we don't, like, those files are all, we gotta find them, that sort of deal. If you want to say that the three of you have conspiratorially got together to do this, we absolutely should have that scene, because the three of you have not conspired together yet.
Raul
I
and
don't even
Pascal
know if
did.
you're all aware of the crimes of each other.
I'm not. I'm not aware of any of their stuff,
Yeah.
and they know about
It's
all
just-
of my stuff.
Pascal's aware of all three, for the most part.
Yeah.
He's aware that Raul tampered. He's aware that Louis killed Alexander.
At the official autopsy says that I didn't kill him.
Sure. Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. So the question is, no, Raul and Pascal at I think the midpoint or end of last time did conspire, but we did keep Louis out of it.
Yeah.
And I think, I'm not sure we would have trusted. You know what? I think this might be something where, right before this all went down, I think Pascal would have gently tried to remind Louis about the corruption within the Free League. Like just planting that little seed of, are you gonna trust them? I guess it's, and then leaving it up to him if he's gonna fully. I don't think Pascal trusts that Louis is capable of keeping a good lie. Does it make sense? I don't think he sees that as his forte. But if he plants a seed of paranoia in Louis that maybe makes Louis decide he's gonna cover something up himself, well, that isn't so bad, is it? So I think that's as far as it went. If you're okay
Hold
with
on,
that.
someone's at the door.
In the background, you can see that personnel are complaining because getting local magistrian cooking supplies has been very difficult, and so they've had to move over to like a fish, bamboo, and fish sauce diet from the local people of Betelgeuse, and it is not sitting well with the culturally richer and financially richer magistracy troops.
That's fair.
I think it's tasty.
Some odd
But
movements as well.
yes, Louis, for his part, he's waiting on an order from the commander because he's been given a request.
Yeah, I don't think this sits with Pascal. Pascal's just gonna nod, like give a nod, as requested.
Okay. Just need you to sign off on these. Can I have the three of you follow me? I'd like to sit down and have an initial conversation with all of you.
Very well.
Fourth Lieutenant.
Yes, ma'am.
She leads you into your own base and basically just orders everybody to get out of the mech bay, interrupting everything going on there, and just stands in front of your mechs and has everyone form a circle and says, "Okay, so I'm a mech warrior. I understand we don't need any of this nonsense. I am not an intelligence officer. I got the same legal training that I'm sure you did through whatever your branch's officer training school is. I'm a line officer. I assume that all three of you are conscripts, given my understanding of the way the Magistracy Armed Forces works. I think this is going to be pretty perfunctory. The paperwork really speaks for itself. From what I'm looking at here, and from everything I saw on the way in, I just have a few questions about these communications from Ensign Gabriel. You appear to be in some sort of relationship with a possibly hostile intelligence officer on planet by the name of Wen Hu. Can you explain to me what your relationship with this woman is?
I can. As far as this relationship goes, I have not met this lady, but it was arranged in a roundabout way the last time I and then Commander Raoul went to negotiate with the then neutral power over in that magistrate. I have informed my commanding officers, both of them, about this relationship or lack thereof, and have made no attempt to share sensitive information or even what I do beyond communication officer, my official position.
Okay, well, this would be highly inappropriate in the Free Worlds League, but according to the guidelines of your nation, this is okay. I don't understand why your people have turned dating into a military endeavor, but we are allies, so...
Louis is too professional to say what he really thinks, which is, I don't either! But he does like subtly nod.
Okay, and it looks like your unit came into contact with an enemy agent by the name of Shen Liu, pilot of a Victor 9A a few days ago. I wanted to discuss the behavior of an Ernst Zimmer. I understand that he sabotaged the operation and was intentionally unhelpful. Would that correctly characterize his actions?
I would not say so. He recently inherited a mech warrior that was not his. There is, well, as you well know, there is an adjustment period. It was a stressful situation, and though he was very unhelpful, I would not say that he was sabotaging anything.
He raises an eyebrow and looks at Rahul and Pascal.
I would say it was rather unclear in that regard. The only
Unclear
truth
in
of
what
the matter
way?
I can speak to. I hesitate to accuse another of sabotage. I find that it is unhelpful to create such a distrustful environment among those who are to work together. However, the truth of the matter is he was indeed not of help during that entire affair. I dare say he did get in the way.
Okay. She hasn't made any notes until this moment, and when she hears you say he got in the way, and hears Pascal say this much is true, you can see she's starting to write notes down immediately. Gentlemen, some of the initial documentation and interviews that I conducted on my way in with various security officers looking over documents, speaking to people on this base, would indicate that there has been a lapse in judgment. There have been thefts of military materiel. There has been an enemy agent, the so-called Night Fox, who infiltrated. One of the people here in this room shot another mech warrior, who then later died. Not of those wounds, according to this.
Louis has the good grace to legitimately appear abashed.
Now, the whereabouts of all of you are accounted for during that incident, with the exception of Mr. Chestang and Mr. Zimmer. Rahul, where were you when the Night Fox incident and all of the military surplus being stolen and moved around? Where were you when that happened? Do you recall that night?
Indeed, I do. I was performing my duties on base until I was called to the scene by a distress call, informing me that one of our fellows has been shot.
Can any of you tell me where you believe Ernst Zimmer was at that time? My notes say that he was supposed to be hosting a dinner party at the very facility where the illegal weapons were found, where the murder of an officer, where the Night Fox was found. Does anyone know where Mr. Zimmer was that evening?
I can't say.
Out of character, wasn't that the same night where he was hosting the party, the sushi party?
Yeah.
No, that was previously.
Oh, yes,
he
it was
hosted
previously,
that party
yes,
when we
but-
went over to the magistrates.
Yes,
I feel like we did know where he was, though, didn't we? Or am I crazy?
You have no idea where he was that night.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think
Okay.
we saw him. Rahul will go. I cannot confirm his location at the time and date you have requested.
Nor I, for that matter. That
Mr.
wasn't.
Gabriel, you had the most contact with this so-called Night Fox. Can you tell me if you observed her directly interacting with any other personnel?
The only experience that I have seen with her was twofold. The first, during that party, which Zimmer hosted, in which she did not speak to any of us. We arrived late, Raoul and I. But beyond that, beyond attempting to obfuscate her involvement to me and Ensign Alexander, I didn't notice her speaking with anyone.
Are you indicating to me that she had a unrestricted private access to this individual, Mr. Zimmer, for an unknown amount of time?
This is true.
Okay. I would like a roll from Rahul. This is for all of the marbles for your lives.
All the marbles.
Alright.
Oh no.
All of them.
Remember, as an
No
expert,
pressure.
you've got to re-roll.
I do. I have a free reroll each hour. Now, time to do some math.
I think that persuade, charisma would go in here.
Wonderful. That's 2 ranks, so that's +1.
Okay.
And I have a charisma of 14, so that's a +2 in total.
Okay. I'm looking for an 8.
An 8.
Every 2 above 8 is going to be a gradated good success.
Let's give this a go.
Oh,
That's a big one.
That's well above 8.
Oh,
That's
baby,
12.
that's 12.
Yeah. She
even need that
absolutely
reroll.
buys all the lies you've laid in paperwork.
He
Right.
can't keep getting away with this.
I think this investigation is going to be wrapped up in just a few minutes. At that time, I'll restore your access. My people will be scouring the base. I have every reason to believe that Mr. Zimmer is an enemy agent within your ranks. We are going to apprehend him and remove him back to to the Magistracy of Canopus's central command on planet upriver, where he will be interrogated.
I see. Louis, for his part, is very happy that he's not being fingered for anything, but also, Zimmer really didn't strike him as that kind of person, and he's pretty good at noticing who traitors and the disloyal are, or so he thinks. But he doesn't say anything. He tilts his head and goes, "One would imagine there would be more warning signs other than buffoonery. But no, you are correct. These little things do add up."
She puts
I
a
think it
hand on
just
your
goes
shoulder
to
and
show-
says, "Oh, go ahead."
I think it just goes to show that you never truly know someone.
Puts a
Not
hand
at
on your
least how they
shoulder
appear.
and says, "Ensign, you never really know why someone's selling their country out." And she turns sharply to stare directly at Pascal and says, "You're still the current commander of this base. I wanted to speak to you about a missing piece of art."
Very well.
What do you know about Mr. Shiratori's final days? There's some rumors that he has a final piece of art that was completed and then stolen. A sort of mythical piece. I don't truly believe in it, but just a lot of gossip in the rags. Is there anything more you can tell me about Mr. Shiratori, your relationship with him, any artwork he may have completed?
All right. Well, you know, and he kind of steps forward. He's like, if perhaps the two of us could speak about that in private.
She seems surprised when you say that and says, very well, the two of you are dismissed. Just know that your access codes are still revoked until we apprehend Mr. Zimmer and fully complete the situation, so don't wander too far in the base. The doors will not work for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Understood, Lieutenant.
Ensign, why don't you tell me what you want to speak your mind about?
Very well. This way, if you don't mind. And he'll kind of make his way towards the quarters, his personal
Okay.
quarters.
Her access card works, so...
Yeah, he'll wait for her to get them in.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know him very well, but he seemed to trust me quite a bit, specifically with his art process. You see, it seemed he was going through a rather troubled time. An artist block, as it were, struggling to be inspired. He asked if I would help him with something. Part of this strange process, as it were, I was to make sure that he did not leave the room, that he was well accounted for, with water and all the necessities, of course, in that time, until such a time as the entire weekend had passed. He also had one final request for me, that I would hold on to a final piece for him for 1 year before releasing it. Now, I was pretty uncertain I was going to follow through with this. You see, it points at me in a pretty negative light. And with that, he'll motion to the door, like to his own place.
Okay.
Basically going as close to the truth, make it nice and awkward,
Yeah.
and yeah. He it's in his room, so he's gonna have trouble hiding it otherwise, right? So I think
She does not go in, and in fact, she stops and puts a hand on her hip so that her palm is resting on her service pistol. And she says, "Ensign, are you aware that you just confessed to kidnapping a fellow officer?"
I did not kidnap him. I'd never held him by any sort of control or anything.
Didn't you just tell me you locked him in a room for 3 days with only food and water?
He locked himself in the room. Are we honestly? It was right here at the barracks. You really
Ensign,
think?
this is a deeply troubled man by your own admission. His medical records indicate that he was suffering from some pretty severe issues with his neurohelmet. Were you aware of this at that time?
The medical records weren't provided directly to me at that time. No.
That is a lapse. I'm going to have to speak with your chief technician and chief as technician.
Very well. Now, correct me if I'm wrong.
You're holding on to this piece, his final piece of work.
Of course. And then
Let's see it.
Yeah, he'll reach in, he'll pull it out, and he'll reveal it.
Now, I believe it has been months, but I believe it's you naked, right?
No, I think it was
Am I
like
crazy
me doing
in
something
thinking that
really corrupt, right? Like it was
Yeah,
like me as a
it's him
snake.
doing something shady,
Oh, okay.
being like sinister.
Me as the ultimate like villain behind everything sort of vibe is what it
Okay.
comes up.
Him
as.
as Jafar.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, this is certainly unique.
Yes, indeed.
So you were his subject in this piece.
Yes.
And he gave you this piece to hold on for 1 year before you released it.
Artsy folk. What can I say?
I would now like you to make a persuasion charisma check.
Yep.
This is also for all of the beans, but you
yeah.
only need a 6.
He is terrible at charisma. I think 8 is -1, right? I think
Yep.
I do have persuade though, so it should at least cover that off with a 0. So it's all about the dice here, folks. Let's see how this goes. Just making sure I only have persuade once. I do. Okay. Let's
An
see
8
how-
is a 0, not a -1. It's a 7 is where it starts.
Oh, really? Okay. Sorry, D&D math. All right, so that gives me a +1 then if I have persuade.
Okay. How hard could it be? Not that hard.
Nice.
Well, it would seem that your friend gave you a rare treasure. He hands you the piece back and says, "This is unusual, and I think that this base has the same issues any military facility would. I only wish that the people at the top had been better prepared. Your magistrian choice to put the most noble person rather than the most trained and qualified person in charge has certainly been flavorful. You've had no issues communicating with Ensign Chistang, who used to run this base and now is your immediate subordinate?"
Well, this whole thing is rather complicated, but we also grew up in this sort of society. Between you and I, my family comes from. They've dabbled in lots of mercantile travel. I've been exposed to other cultures. I realize this is not the norm, but we all grew up with it. We're quite used to it, really.
So, Leonia and Pascal continue to have small talk for a little while longer. We cut back to Rahul and Louis when the two of you hear the sound of a door breaking, like someone kicking a door open, and then someone shouts, "He's a runner!" And then you hear like someone screaming, like, "Get down, sir! I need you to stop!" And you see in slow motion a Ernst Zimmer like totally panicking, no shirt on, only in his boxer briefs, sprinting towards his Battlemech into the room with you. Like 2 Merrick security officers following him, and they've both got their guns out, and they're just like, "Stop, sir! Get down!" He's
Louis!
running directly towards you so that he can get past you and get onto a gantry to climb up to his mech.
Okay.
Louis is going to. Yeah,
I think
I was
going
gonna
to
say.
I'm gonna grab him and throw him to the ground.
I'm gonna get in between him and his mech. Keep in mind, I want to tell you my physical stats.
I know, it's
Strength,
terrible.
8. Dex, 6. Constitution, 4. I am a crippled person with glass bones. I am going to dive in between him and the mech so he doesn't get in the giant mech.
Okay.
I'm just gonna grab him.
I will require Rahul to make an athletic strength check here.
Athletic strength.
And if he gets past you, we'll talk about a guy who's going to trip him by lying on the ground. Just somewhat less effective than grabbing, but it could work.
Unfortunately, I do not have any athletics.
Well, that's a -1.
I do have combat primitives, so if I was stabbing him to the ground, that'd be good. But
I'm afraid that's not how this works.
not in this case. Can I stab him through the chest with non-lethal damage? No. So strength is 12, so that's a 0.
Yep.
This is a -1.
Yeah. Looking for a 7. So you need an 8 on the dice. You can't get it on that.
That is not. I'm gonna reroll.
Okay, you have to reroll both dice.
Yep.
That
Okay.
is a 8, so that is successful.
An 8. All right.
Ernst sees you move towards him. A full relief. This man is in panic. He doesn't understand why he's about to be arrested by a foreign military. He doesn't know why they're in the base. They've completely surprised him. Some people, when bad things happen, they freeze. Other people just comply. This guy is a runner. And he sees a former commanding officer, a comrade, and a lance mate moving towards him to help him out. He moves towards you. You absolutely WWE clothesline his ass. He just goes sliding, and he slides on the mech bay floor, and on his back like a turtle, rotates 3 times as he goes, "Ow!" And the security officers surround him, flip him over, cuff him behind his back, and just get him wrapped up, hog-tied. He looks so betrayed at you. He's just screaming "I don't know what's going on! Anything wrong!" As they lift him up so that his legs can't touch the ground and are just carrying him out.
No.
He's looking at the two of you, just, "You have to help me! Sirs, please! No!"
Louis, who did fully go for the dive and missed, landed something in his arm. Like the crutch by his side. He is pushing himself back up onto his feet, and he looks at Ernst Zimmer, this alleged traitor, and he says, "If you're innocent, then it will be sorted out, but for now I'd advise you to comply. That's our orders, it is yours too."
And with that, Rahul will turn to the guards, the officers, and just say, "Good job, lads."
I would like a leadership charisma roll. I feel like we're
All
asking for a
right.
lot of charisma. Not you.
It's
From Louis.
Me?
Yes.
My-
Zimmer.
My leadership is 1, my charisma is 12, so that's a +0,
Plus,
right?
It's a +1. Oh, yes,
+1.
yes, because you have a 1 in the skill, is what you're telling me.
Yes.
Yes, you have a +0. Looking for a 7. 50% down the line. How hard could it be?
7, 4 and a 3.
Okay. He hears someone that is higher ranking than him, ostensibly, and higher ranking on the list, reassure him, and some part of him unclenches slightly from the panic, and he lets
We
this
hear
happen
his
to him.
butthole. Whoop.
No, you made it weird now.
Alright. It's a gift.
He is still only in his boxer briefs, though. His calves are shredded. This dude is ripped, by the way. Like most
be
mech
nice.
warriors, especially those who spend a lot of time piloting their mechs, absolutely ripped. Yeah, they escort him out. We cut back to Leonia finishing up her small talk as she gets a radio message saying that everything's secure here. She turns over the command codes for the base back to Pascal and then says, alright, so I'm going to spend a few days here finishing up paperwork. but my men are going to be escorting him back, and then they're sending my mech down here. I will be attached to your unit as an auxiliary because you need a 4th lance mate. If you could turn the command codes of, is it a hunchback mech from Mr. Shiratori's family over to me, I'll just temporarily take use of it. I'm actually not sure what the plan is. Is that mech being returned to his family, or is it being dragooned into service here?
Well, we are in desperate need of equipment. You see, my Blackjack suffered quite a bit of damage in that most recent exchange. We were hoping to hold any and all mechs under our control as possible.
Okay. Well, I'll temporarily be using it until my mech catches up, if you don't mind.
Of course. It only makes sense. In the meantime, perhaps I should reach out to his family off-world?
Are you asking me, or do you need me to order you to do that? I don't have any authority over you anymore. I'm a foreign auxiliary to this unit now.
I was simply asking for your advice. You seem to be...
In the Free Worlds League, it would be wise to inform the family, and owner-operator mechs would be returned to the unit except in cases of immediate military need where they might be temporarily appropriated.
Very well.
I would tell you that this is an immediate military need, given that we're operating deep behind enemy lines on a hostile, unsecured planet.
I would agree with this. Very well. Good point. And with that, Pascal will smile awkwardly at her and then stride out.
Okay, she's still standing in front of your room holding the painting of you and goes, "What an odd man." It just puts it down on your bed and leaves as well.
Yeah. That's that Charisma 8 just killing it with these. So.
All of you receive an invitation to the Lieutenant Leonia invitation party that is being held by the Mech Base staff to welcome her. It is going to be a somber affair. The whole base is shaken by the arrival of the Merrick forces, by the arrest of Ernst Zimmer. These sorts of things are supposed to be a big party, like the one that Ernst was going to hold for you. But instead, this looks like it's going to be like in the canteen, just people come get to meet her. The other thing all of you get is a new push of the list. All of your names have been removed from it temporarily.
Oh.
That's not good.
Because
Not
you
good
were
at
under
all.
investigation at the time the list was being printed. It's the future of the 80s, so it takes a while for, this thing had to be printed somewhere else and then published out here. You know what I mean?
Yep.
This is several
As
days
an
old.
as an unnamed intern kind of slides a new paper list under Louis' door, he looks at it and goes, "Oh no, Pascal's going to be inconsolable."
So just because your names have been removed, your positions haven't changed. It's just that they're left blank. So somewhere out there on planet, Dr. Jack Manley goes, "Damn it," and he crushes the piece of paper and he goes, "Lara!" Someone give me a helicopter. I need to get into this man's area of operations and save some children.
If this campaign doesn't end with us killing this doctor in combat, then I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah. Love it. Love it.
Is there anything anyone wants to do during the Let's Welcome Lieutenant Leonia party?
I think Louis is definitely going to be welcoming. It's good to have a professional army person here. That said, he does have work to do. Would it be socially acceptable in this somber affair for him to work while at this somber affair? Is there an etiquette role?
I mean, there's no etiquette rule. It's just as bad in the military as it is anywhere else to just show
Damn
up
it.
at a party and be
Get a
like,
laptop
"Damn, I'm
out
gonna,
and-
yeah." I mean, you're just treated as like a try-hard nerd, rear echelon sort of shit.
He is a try-hard nerd, rear echelon sort of shit. But no, in that case, he's not. Etiquette's important here, as it is with telemarketing. But yes, he's definitely going to try to get her up to speed about, if not professional matters, then it's good to have you here. Everything should be fine. Once we get our new orders, it will be a pleasure to serve alongside you.
Okay. Thank you. Can't wait to be your lance mate. Your mech
Likewise.
is particularly advanced, from what I understand, of the Raven. We produce some of those nowadays, but it can be difficult to operate that electronic warfare equipment. How have you found your qualification training?
It was quite intuitive. I had my eye on the Raven since it entered Magistracy space because it's one of the very few that's actually being produced and innovated. It drew my attention because with a lot of mechs, they're ancestral. They've been in families for hundreds, for thousands of years. But this is something that's being adapted and innovated, and getting used to it, it took a little bit of effort, but once you learn to speak its language, I can be a force multiplier for whatever battlefield I find myself on, or civilian theater. I didn't expect to need it in war, but that's conscription for you.
He looks at you and says, "You signed up to join the military and you didn't think you'd be going to war." Interesting.
The Magistracy is historically quite a peaceful nation. Recent events have been shifting.
Okay. And you can tell that she's like shifting onto the back foot, and she says, "And what is your relationship with who? This young woman from across the river here?"
I've never met her before. As mentioned in our earlier conversation,
Right.
She is the magistrate. What? Hold on. I wrote it down in my notes, but I forgot the name. I'm sorry. The magistrate of Paisakmon, Cuisanle. She is a political operator. She plays games. I believe it was some form of trump card that she pulled, or a way to tie things down, either diplomatically or bureaucratically. I am sure Wenhu is perfectly lovely, if she is not a hostile foreign agent, but I have never met her.
Okay. How unique of your culture to date on the battlefield.
Yes. I mentioned it to my commanders for advice on how to continue that. I think the best way forward is to pretend it's not happening.
That, in general, is a bad way to interact with a woman, I think.
I cannot help but shake the suspicion that this is a political game, or something to cast suspicion on me, or spy on my lance. And it's war. There are perhaps matters more important than an arranged date.
Okay. I
But
apologize,
I apologize.
if this has been too forward. I'm not sure I understand the culture well.
No, I completely understand, and I also apologize that the conversation turned to political matters, but, as said, it is war.
I think at this point...
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, inserting himself into this conversation, Rahul would walk forward and goes, but what is war but a tool of politics? Greetings, Lieutenant. Welcome.
Ensign.
Officially, of course.
Right.
I'm sorry, I did not mean to interrupt.
Right. Just some Sun Tzu logic, I see. My understanding is that you have quite the reputation with the Magistracy commander, Major Teresa Lupina. Apparently, you're one of her highly favored cadets. They call you the Cub. I'm not sure what that means.
It's a magistracy term. Think of it as
Louis takes a drink so he doesn't smile.
Think of it that I am ready to learn from my superior officers, whatever it is they have to teach. And she is quite a lot to teach. But yes, I do
How close is your relationship with your superior officer? If you don't mind my inquiring socially.
As close as I am to any other of the officers I serve.
Okay, now just note that you meant that one way, and she takes it in an alarming way.
Yeah, I'm sure. Point is...
So just to be clear...
She's a highly respectable woman, and...
She turns towards you, Louis, and gives you an eyebrow as if checking to see if you're part of the polycule.
Does Louis take it as that? I don't think he does. He will raise one eyebrow in a questioning and tilt his head.
Okay. She has no idea what to think of that.
Yeah.
I think Louis of the military.
Louis is seeing this unspoken message that she got from him. He's like, I kind of think they might be fucking. It's about the tail, but he doesn't say any of this. Instead, he just meets her gaze, raises the eyebrow, and shrugs.
I think probably at that point there's the movement from behind Rahul.
You can see that Lieutenant Leonia has an intense distaste when she sees your tail. She's just like, right, your people are accepting of cybernetics. What a unusual stance in this day and age.
If you don't mind me saying, I hope this isn't going to be a problem with us working together.
No, it's just that, well, you know how it is with the Free Worlds League after all of the wars. And you can see that, high school and middle school, military history classes, the sound of, people screaming, guns being fired, PTSD noises. They try to hammer in early that artificial intelligence bad and, cybernetic bad. They indoctrinate children to hate cybernetics. So she's not hating you automatically, but she just finds it distasteful. Not I hate people who have tails, just I hate people who have cybernetics.
Yeah, I think that Rahul will go. It is unfortunate that there are so many others that do not understand the benefits of such technology.
Your tail has some benign purpose, a sensor mast of some kind, perhaps?
Well, for one, it does help with balance and movement to a degree.
Really?
But there is a aesthetic aspect to it as well.
She nods slowly and says, sure, if you're into that kind of aesthetic. Sure.
I haven't had complaints so far.
I think at that, Louis
she raises an eyebrow and looks at you again, Louis.
Louis will shrug and say, I will say I haven't been part of those specific conversations. But it is not an uncommon sight in the Magistracy.
Oh. She undoes a flask on a bottle of alcohol and pours some for the two of you and says, to new allies, for the friendship of this breakaway republic of ours, and to your magistracy.
And to the
To
free
the
world.
alliances that have brought us here.
And to affordable savings.
And while this
Sorry.
is happening, you can see that Banner Sergeant Charles Martin is like stopping someone from giving another toast. Like, there's somebody that's like trying to give a toast, and basically your top NCO is like, nope, don't do that. Don't do it, son. Just shut up. He's doing everything to not look like he's about to drag this guy out of the room in front of a foreign intelligence officer. Bob, you look so much like you want to do something. I don't know if it's just because you're leaning forward.
No. So, like, I just wanted to let that scene roll through. But I think, Pascal, so correct me if I'm wrong, this is a welcome party. It's on base. There are some people from... There's our unit, and then there's the Merrick unit. Are there any other guests here? Or is it just...
I mean, it's basically everybody on your base is attending.
So I wanna go all out on this one. Like, as the host of this, I want this party to be remembered, this celebration to be remembered. It's an opportunity for the crew to kind of raise morale. It's also a way to sort of impress the Merrick folk, and then maybe this leaks back to our people and gets our names more on the list, which has been Pascal's driving force at this point, right? So I think he will be doing the role of the host to the extreme to this. He's running around making sure everything's looked after. You know, he did some planning in an impromptu way because this was pretty short notice. All of that, and he's if we have to dip into some of the I don't want to do anything fraudulent, but if we have ways to legally move the money in such a way, like if there's a store of money for where it'd be prudent not to take from it, and that's the only reason you wouldn't take from it is because there's something worse that might be happening. We'll worry about that later. It's time to indulge a little bit here.
You're going to your slush funds. Sure.
Yeah.
Where did the maintenance funds go?
Won't take
discretionary funds.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Pascal, somebody bumps into you, sloshing around with an open container of alcohol, just like half in, half out of the party, and it is Joanna Terrascon, the chief Aztec, the person who's responsible for repairing your mechs, basically. Assistant technician. And she goes, "Yeah, and let's do to Emma Centrella." And like half the room is like to Emma, and the other half are just like, ooh, I don't know. Can we do? Is that treasonous? It immediately makes the room like so awkward.
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, there's the
Emma is the daughter,
and that's the daughter.
Yes, the daughter.
The daughter
Kyla
of the
is
current
the current
magistrates. Yes. So Emma has played it very close to the vest, but so the irony is that Emma voluntarily serves in the Magistracy, Royal Guard, and the Armed Forces, but she is against this war, despite the fact that she is serving on the front lines quietly. And so calling a toast for her is basically the same thing as calling for an end of this war and going home. Is definitely a breach of etiquette, and yet almost half the room immediately echoes it. Now, how many people here are politically savvy enough to understand that or even care? Like, it's a Centrella. When someone says, the president and their family, right? You'd be like, yeah, to the president and their family.
Can I scoop in and do just that? Like, could I say to the magistrate Centrella and her daughter Emma in service? Like, since she is in service.
Absolutely, you can do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Louis was described in his answer for that as a fence sitter, which kind of makes sense.
Well, you definitely... I want to be clear. For those that understand the politics, you doing that makes it clear that your position is unclear.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I will
okay.
say the actual Louis is also neutral until a side presents itself, but he likes Emma Centrella so much more. He likes it. He doesn't like this war. He would support her, but he's politically savvy and doesn't like
That is a
doesn't like to
12?
make waves.
What was
Oh,
it rolling?
baby.
What was I rolling for that?
I didn't say you needed to roll anything.
Oh, I thought you did. I don't know.
No, but with the 12, whatever you're rolling succeeded at. So let's say that you've managed to cement your leadership here. Like, it's not even that. I think you're convincing the unit to take a politically neutral stance. You know what I mean? Like, you're the kind of guy that just walked into a room and people were like, my side! My side! And you're like, guys, we're all fucked here. To the Republic.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh yeah, to the whole royal family. I can get behind that. Yeah.
I love how it's synonymous to say we're all fucked here with to the Republic. I love that. Yeah.
Well, I was reorganizing the Republic into the First Galactic Empire, but it got bogged down in a vote, so.
That's fair.
I don't like democracy all that much. It lost me the high seat.
Oh, what? Yikes. What a statement. I don't
I
like
love
democracy
the
all that
Republic.
much.
I was doing it as a bit. It was a bit. Don't cancel me, republics everywhere.
So basically almost every modern government in the entire world.
Yes,
Hey, we
don't
don't
cancel me,
republic.
every government. Indeed. But I will say that Pascal's action there, Louis super appreciates it, and he might say so later.
The Magistracy is actually a republic. It does have a representative body. It's just not a democratic republic. It's a republic.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. The voting base isn't universal suffrage, it's women. And to some extent, it's rich women, specifically.
Which planet-owning women?
I will point out that the Magistrix is voted for. It's just that everyone always votes for a Centrella. With very few exceptions.
Ain't that convenient?
I know, right?
What do you mean a voting election in which usually one family gets in? That's ridiculous.
It's not your vote
Wouldn't
that
happen.
counts, it's your count that votes.
I like it.
Great, Sean Bean said it first, so you can take it from him. That's real civilizations, feudalism, tech unlock.
100%.
I think that we could take a short break here, let you do an ad roll, and then when we come back, we'll see the fallout of this. And unless, again, I don't want to rush you away from the party, if anyone had any of the people here you want to interact with, Joanna, Charles, Leonia, not Ernst because he's being spirited away.
He's going to a black site, and will never be seen again.
Yeah, he's a great
Yeah.
patsy. You did a good job setting him up and then dunking on him.
Thank you.
You're a monster.
I broke my shoulder trying to apprehend him.
He's truly an innocent lamb, and you've ruined his life. He's
Hey,
gonna be like an
only-
A-team in a federal prison, break out and be like, I have to clear my name by doing good deeds with military equipment in the hills.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be the A team, but just one guy.
Not only did I get him blamed for it, I was directly involved in his capture.
Yeah. Yeah.
As he looked at you like, oh, thank God, Raul's here, and you just clotheslined him. Yeah.
Wrecked. Absolutely wrecked. Bob, I have to turn control over to you to take a break, so.
We'll be back, folks, very soon. See you soon.
As far as this party goes, I would like, I think... Oh, first, do you guys have anything you want to do? Because I know that Pascal, we were talking for a little bit while you lurked.
Well, like I said, I think his focus is just making sure this went off smoothly. I think what he'd be looking for, EP, is anyone that looks like they're about to create that kind of faux pas that our Aztec just did.
On a 12, no one else would dare.
Okay.
Not even that you're on patrol, it's just that everyone understands that this is the new social standard that the commander has set.
Gotcha.
Is political unity as long as this outsider's here.
Well, I think for Pascal, outside of that, ultimately his goal is to find out as much if there's anyone with any know on the new soon-to-be published list, and what that's looking like. Try to get some insider info if there is. Yeah.
I think this is going to be a role for sure.
Yeah.
I would say it's a culture role.
Okay.
If you have any culture skill at all,
I have two. I have Culture World and Culture Traveler. So.
Okay, I think you can roll with Culture Traveler.
Okay.
Or you can just roll untyped culture that will assume you have 1 point in and get a 0 on. Culture Traveler will get you something different than just general culture. But both of them will involve, I think, wisdom. Asking around. I don't know that charm is going to serve you in this particular. I think you specifically are trying to sort through the bullshit and find the truth.
And I should note this is Louis' strongest at 15. I think that's.
Well, I should have just said charisma then, but yeah. Wisdom makes sense, so go for it.
Look, I rolled too many 4s at the beginning of this game. I had I'd either lose intelligence or charisma, and I opted to lose charisma. So
it's your time.
Let's do it.
Show me the dice. Show me the dice.
Oh, what? What's the wisdom 15? Is that plus?
That's a +1.
+1, and then I'll use Culture Traveler.
Okay, so that's a 0. So yeah, okay.
So that is an 8 total.
Yeah. Right? So overall, you're starting to pick things up by people who've been places and seen things. Your family is mercantile in nature. You've kind of set things up here. You've implied to people in the background of some scenes that your family's looking to continue to do some expanded business. And there's a little plot dangling that maybe your family is involved in some smuggling of some kind. Could be that there's smuggling involved.
Not my family.
Listen.
Baseless rumors.
Americans don't like to talk about it, but a huge number of people that funded and participated in the American Revolution were tea smugglers.
No.
And when they made the tea legal again and stopped taxing it so heavily, those people went nuts because that was their entire bottom line.
There is never politics in those motivations. I disagree.
Okay. Wow, so am I talking to Bob or am I talking to Pascal?
Right there, that was Pascal. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely sounded like Pascal for sure. Yeah. With that in mind, you know people on this base who have that sort of wheeling and dealing, armorers, people responsible for like making sure all the guns get turned in at the end of the day, people who quartermasters, people who like distribute the socks and such. And you're starting to get a local vibe about the list. It sounds like your position at number 1 is probably secure. And there's some talk, like one of the men is like, "Hey, great job, sir. I hear that some ladies are going to be taking liberty at our base. Can you imagine driving 2 days out of the way? But, when you're number 1, I guess you got a 4-day round trip. You draw them in, sir."
Yeah, I'll be like, right, yeah, that's not his strong suit. So the thought makes him a little bit.
Now, just to be clear, when they see you be super awkward about this, this enlisted guy like turns to the guy next to him when you're not around anymore. He's like, "Commander is so awkward." Yikes.
100%.
they're going to be talking about that for the next month and a half.
Right? Absolutely. Yeah, it fits him. -8 or the charisma 8. I think he's not a. Everything about him, from his smile to everything else, it just doesn't give off the most welcoming impression. He's also like size 14, so I think he's kind of like a bit big and lumbering and awkward too. So
I think that there's definitely the impression you're starting to get is that people don't think that you're conventionally handsome. I think they call it striking. Like, you're a big guy, you're unusually attractive, and people have started assuming that you're just like really good at sex, or just like a really good courtesan. Like, you're good at entertaining women.
is Pascal Pete Davidson? Is that what you're trying to say?
So remember that your number one spot came because of Shiratori propping you up, right? Like, you're seen now as like an artsy fartsy dude, but you're also like a big lumberjack strongman as well. But you're like not conventionally attractive. So
100%. Yeah.
There's a line of confusion from the people around you, like, what do women see in this guy? Like, how does he do it?
Confirmed, he is Pete Davidson. I got it. Understood.
Okay.
Yeah. That is literally the conversation about Pete Davidson. So,
Now,
Incidentally, Pete, if you're watching this, call me.
Perhaps more questionably, you pick up that Rahul's position is starting to slide upwardly. The people that were above him, Robert Allard, Roland Carrand, they begin to slide down past him, as his disgrace of being demoted was temporary, but being part of the royal family is forever. So, he's on his way back up the list. And he is conventionally attractive and charismatic. He's your subordinate now, but people are already talking about how, that could change in a second. The two of them could swap positions again. And really, your military rank has nothing to do with your availability as a marriage partner. You don't hear anything about Louis. And that's real Louis, not Pascal Louis.
right. Yeah. Just to confirm. The real Louis.
I'm an ambush predator. I'm a trapdoor spider.
Okay.
Mark, do you want to go? Because I have a conversation I'd like to have.
There is one thing Rahul will wants us to talk to, and he wants to talk to Pasquale. So probably during the party, as things are going around, he would approach and go, "You put a good party together, Commander."
Oh, this? Well, it's something like back home, but it does well enough for here.
Aye, true enough. But so far, things seem to be going well. Even the minor blips seem to be solved quickly.
Indeed. Tragic thing, that traitor.
Yes, it was indeed unfortunate. Oh well. I suppose you never know who you can truly trust.
Indeed.
But I think everything will be going much more smoothly going forward.
I don't think there's any other choice in that, Raoul.
You never know. Sometimes a little bit of opportunity can be good for us all.
Barring
yes,
any future internal investigations, something we should aim to avoid.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. But I just think I've grown to understand you a little better. And perhaps see a kindred spirit between the two of us.
They say that happens in war.
That is true enough. Alliances are formed, agreements are made. All in the pursuit of a beneficial agreement for all. Well, and then he looks around and says slightly under his breath, for those that matter.
What do you think about Louis over there?
Louis, yes. Well, shooting a fellow officer was not a good choice. As well, his seemed proclivities towards perhaps someone that may or may not be an enemy is interesting. But I don't particularly see him as some sort of issue going forward. After all, he is quite useful in the role that he fulfills among our little squad. Speaking
of little squad, it seems that we can't go having this son of a farmer spending so much time with us. Dozens of names down the list. I think we might have to help him up a little bit so that he doesn't drag us down with him.
You know, I think that is quite a good idea, Commander.
There's rumors that we're going to be receiving some guests on base in the future. Perhaps we can arrange a party. We'll make sure that Louis is dressed in his finest, but is left unaware of the... well, let's not give him any room to be ill or find another reason not to be present. If we catch him off guard, then he won't have any opportunity to run.
Oh, don't worry. I'm quite good at catching runners. I'll make sure that he attends.
Did I hear about that, AP?
Dressed his best.
Was that talk of the town, the clothesline? Raoul's clothesline?
Nobody else was there except the two security officers and Ernst.
Okay.
And the security officers left with Ernst, so Louis is the only one that saw it.
Okay. I shit you not, there he was, running towards the mech, and out of nowhere, Raoul, like a blinding flash of lightning.
Right? Dressed as the ultimate warrior. But he'll just nod. He'll raise a brow then when you make mention of that, because you kind of alluded to it, Raoul, so just raise a brow. And he says, he'll raise his glass. And he'll say, to the war effort.
To the future. To our future.
In the silence that follows the two former and current commanding officers toasting each other, you all hear four separate conversations. One is Chief Aztec Joanna Tarascon. Again, she is a consultant and a civilian who works on this base. She has cornered two privates who are larger than her, and she has backed them into a corner with a glass of champagne, and she's going, "You have to understand, wheat domesticated us. We were monkey men before the fields were laid down. And in chasing the wheat, we got this. We were domesticated by it. It made us the women that we are." You hear Banner Sergeant Charles Martin in a different corner speaking to like 7 NCOs who are all addressing him with straight backs and perfect respect, despite the fact it's a party. And he says, "That's right. The only way to satisfactorily make it is to use a molcajete. You just have to get in there and do it Just like my mother did it, just like my grandmother did it. All of the men in my family know how to make salsa. Two privates who you don't know, you can hear them kind of loudly saying, yeah, our commanders have been pretty questionable. I signed up to capture prizes to rise through the ranks and make some money here. We spend all day sitting around shooting each other and talking nicely and having parties. I said we launch a few night raids at Pyzakmon with false flag, take what we can get out of some stores, maybe capture some of their military equipment, and just don't give it back. What are they gonna do? And then like the second private is like, dude, everyone's listening. God, shut the fuck up. And the fourth conversation you hear. Hold on.
Okay, yeah.
Hold on. The fourth conversation you hear is Lieutenant Leonia going, oh, yeah, I've seen the 6th Truth painting. Yeah, Truth 6. I just saw it earlier today. Some people said it's not real, but I've confirmed that it is. And so each of you is noticing one or more disasters happening in a different quadrant. Louis?
I just want to say, out of all of these, the first two, wheat domesticating us, and 2, yes, here's the perfect salsa recipe, those are disasters. But I will say, after his conversation with Leonia, he will make his goodbyes. He would definitely be on his way to see the banner sergeant Charles Martin before he hears the conversation 3, the 2 privates saying, one of them going, let's just fucking desert and launch a false flag operation on a neutral
Not desert. Listen. In any other military, it probably would be a dereliction of duty, which is not the same thing as desertion. You are technically under orders to take prizes here. If their initiative was highly successful, it could be overlooked by higher command as a personal initiative. But also it is kind of treasonous, because you're talking shit about your commanders. But the idea of the raid itself, if they own their own equipment, which privates with rifles don't.
Yes, I'm going to say, like, as they have that conversation, and the second one is like, shh, everyone can hear you. Louis says from behind him, yes, they can.
We're just talking about a theoretical situation, Ensign. A theoretical situation is a boxing discussion.
So long as it remains theoretical, we'll see what can be done. I will say that our commanders are leading us well, would you not? And that our orders remain standing. More things are coming, and these are the early days of the theater of war.
Ensign
Have
2,
some more alcohol.
whose name tag reads Private Parsons, says, to the ensigns of this base, which actually includes you as well. The whole room is like, to the ensigns! The first one, whose name is Private Malarkey, is just like, yeah, to the ensigns, of course. This is a great operation. We're all happy to be here, sir.
Private Malarkey, I see you were well named. But do not
That's
worry.
slang for bullshit, isn't it?
Yes. There will be action coming. Do not strain overmuch at the halter.
Now,
I'm not a fucking knight. Don't get too
I want
antsy.
you to understand, when you say action will be coming, the rest of the room hears we're going to go prize raiding soon. And Malarkey hears, I'm gonna get arrested tomorrow morning.
You can certainly hear that last part. But it does tie in nicely to what I was originally going to do. He will nod to those 2 privates, and with the cane, he is going to walk over to the banner sergeant, Charles Martin.
Okay. Yep. He does not salute you, because this is an informal event, but he does straighten to something like attention and say, Ensign?
Banner sergeant. I wanted to ask your opinion on something, though I understand this is a informal occasion. But, well, talk has been traveling, and indeed, there are strategic objectives that we have not been chasing. You have nearly 3 decades of experience in military operations. Now that we have a 4th member of the Lance, albeit as part of a different... do we call them kingdoms, coalitions, or nation?
So
As a different, yeah.
Again, just as a reminder.
No, that was Thomas as the last part.
Right. He says we have been calling them Marek aligned forces, but they are technically rebels against the Marek government, who are launching this attack on the Capellans to get the resources they need to finish their war, freeing themselves from the Mareks.
Yeah, it seems
Let's
straightforward.
just call them allied forces, sir. Let me say this, Ensign. I think it's wise for young officers to consult the military operating capacity of the highest ranked NCOs around. I've been waiting for someone to talk to me the whole time we've been here. What can I do for
Precisely
you?
I have been meaning to ask you about our original orders, as said, were to gather prizes, materiel, but one of the main strategic points of operation were Famir weaponry. The ones that, as long as Kamada has it, they can replenish their forces and deny us munitions as well. Bidan, without any official direct orders to attack points of high strategic control, would it be prudent to, on our own initiative, go on raids within those areas? Already hostile forces in play?
We're not sure what's on the way there, sir. I think it would be prudent to launch a reconnaissance in force and do so in a way that does not inform our other allies in Pizakman. We have enough infiltrators from the Capellan Confederation that have been wandering through this base, like the Night Fox. We don't need to send a full lance through enemy-held territory to let them know where we are and which direction we're headed. I say you put the lance in the river so no one can see it, you walk it upriver, and then you come out north of Pizakman, figure out how to get towards the weapons factory, see what's on the way there. We're not going to do that all in one go. We need to establish the terrain. We don't have enough satellites in orbit. We don't know who's friendly. We don't know who's hostile. We need supply bases. We're going to have to set up a series of floating pontoon bridges. But yeah, I think that starting a scout would be a good idea if you want to take that factory, sir.
Multi-stage operation. Very sound strategy. Thank you
just
very
to be
much.
clear, you didn't say anything about a scout, but he's giving you credit for the strategy he told you. In a room full of people who are all listening to what's happening, because you're now discussing high-level military strategy that is going to be the life and death of everyone in this room at a casual dinner party.
So, yeah, he's definitely going, so this is your idea, mostly.
Excellent
but here's
idea,
how you would go about it. But yes, as Louis does that and he takes in the way that he is pushing, he will say, very good. I will say this, as far as a resource of information, knowledge, and wisdom, you have been underutilized. Do not worry, as that will be changing in future, particularly now that we have a full contingent. Again.
He looks at you, and he doesn't know what you mean, because you are outranked by 2 people. The only thing he can think of is that he's heard that women are coming to this base who are high-ranked nobles, powerful nobles, and that you think that you're going to do some sort of weird sexcapades to raise your ranking. I'm outlining what you're seeing on this man's face to you.
So I see that expression and fully clock it, and then I will be asking you for advice and tactical analysis. That is what I will.
Of course. Because things will be changing around here.
Yes, Banner Sergeant. You like all of these guys could like fully see him. Sure.
Right. Now, just to remind you, he doesn't like the list system and is very low ranked in it. Not just because he's an old man, but also because he finds it distasteful and a waste of military resources.
Yeah, that's what Louis thinks as well.
Wow, so shocking that you're halfway down the list. That's wild, dude.
Indeed.
Turns out the people who make the list don't like it when the people on the list dunk on them.
Indeed. Hey, he's never dunked on anything publicly. But Louis is going to say, "Thank you for your time, Banner Sergeant."
Of course.
And just to fucking dunk on him, when I write up the proposal, his analysis is going there front and center because I believe that he deserves. Yeah,
that's his job.
He deserves the credit. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. You're doing exactly what he wanted.
I'm doing exactly what he wanted. I'm doing exactly my job.
I'm gonna give you credit for this. Yeah.
I'm gonna give you credit for your idea.
When you walk away from him, he turns to his NCOs and he says, "Okay, what else?" Now, there were more people involved in this situation. Bob,
yeah,
I don't know if you wanted to jump in on the...
He's swooping in on the number 6 painting here. It's,
okay, you're moving over to talk to Lieutenant Leonia.
Does she look like she's like... She didn't seem the type before to gossip. And is she drunk? Is that clear? Like, or
I mean, she's drunk and this is a social situation, but you didn't indicate to her that this was supposed to be a secret. What you said was, "I'm supposed to hold on to this for a year."
Yeah.
And it's clear from context that people are talking about the missing painting, and she goes, "Yeah, I've seen it."
What would I imagine people aren't dancing and stuff, right? He's terrible at that anyway, so I'm not sure he would offer. You know what? He's desperate enough though to interrupt by any means necessary.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he'll interrupt at that. If there is a ball like situation, if there are people dancing, he will ask to take her hand. If not, he'll just ask to speak to her privately.
Okay. I think cutting in to do a dance is very interesting. I'm going to give you 2 options here.
Yep.
I will take athletics dexterity to show off some sort of approaching dance move to get her into this. Or if you want to go pure politics, I will take bureaucracy charisma to cut in here and be like, Lieutenant, it's time, it's dance card time. Again, you and I have talked about this. We haven't done enough Bridgerton, and I'm trying to bring the Bridgerton here.
I like
so
it.
If you want to be it's dance card time, I've got your number. I would love that.
Yeah, let's do it. So I do have bureaucracy. I have that minus or charisma 8. So what does that net me?
It's still a 0.
Yeah,
still a 0.
Okay.
You need a 7 or lower to have a -1.
Let's see what happens.
Okay. Let's call this a 6.
7.
Okay. You don't have any bonus to it at all?
No, because bureaucracy, just having it at 1 is a...
Okay, yep. Yeah, you come over, you indicate that it's time to dance. She goes, of course. I'm not really used to that sort of thing, and she lets you lead.
Okay.
What are we looking at here in terms of dance style?
Oh god, I don't even know this sort of thing as Bob. What
freestyle disco?
Yeah, 100%. What would be the one? I don't know the Battletech dance stuff, but I imagine this would be something more formal and old school. Because then Pascal can do like the uptight. He has a dex of 7. Let's be clear. So he is a fumbling mess when it comes to that. So anything that has the equivalent of line dancing would be wonderful. Something where you literally have like prescripted moves. I think that would be more his go. That, or we could do it hilariously.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
I am going to canonize this, that the commander of the base, which is you, has basically issued orders for like Texas square dancing kind of shit.
Yeah.
And like,
no.
it's a bunch of... Did you just John Barenthal?
Yeah.
I love
Like
the
the
idea
Punisher
of
about to get tortured. No.
people who, are stuck with rigid military formality all the time. Like, even their dancing now has to be done in a specific order, in a specific way, with prescribed partners. Yeah, you get out there and you lead it, and now everybody's getting out there. They've got like a square dance version of Honky Tonk Badonkadonk, a true classic in the 30s playing. It's 1,000 years old at that point. It's like a Mozart. Everyone knows it. They've heard it 100 times. Everyone knows the dance moves. So it's you and Leonie at the front doing the moves, leading everybody else, and just a whole military base and Charles Martin in the corner not dancing, going, "What the fuck is this? I'm in my 50s."
Yeah. These damn kids.
I've got the bone density of an 80-year-old man. I can't dance.
Are you standing next to Charles?
I think like as he goes to turn away and do some more schmoozing, he sees this happening, and like a couple of pebbles going into an avalanche, he clocks that and goes, "Actually, I've been meaning to speak to you about something else."
As you hear the music start, "You don't know how she got them britches on."
Oh god.
Rahul, anything you want to do about the 4 conversations and burgeoning
Well, there's
square dance?
Well, there's 2 more fires at the moment, right?
I mean, I wouldn't call them fires, but you could also interrupt in one of the 2 events that's already happening as well.
No, I think he'll attend to the obviously drunk Aztec.
Okay.
What's her name again?
Joanna Tarascon.
Joanna Terrace. Like with that,
My
he
favorite
walk
member
over
of
to
staff.
her, bullying the 2 unfortunate privates, and would go, "Joanna, you seem to be enjoying yourself this night."
Rahul! She turns and she gives you a hug. Okay. Well, you don't hover hand her, but you pat her on the back. She leans back. Full party atmosphere for her going on. As the music kicks up in the background, she hands one of the privates her champagne flute, grabs your hand and says, "You know this song, right?" and moves to drag you out to go dancing.
I think it's like, well, I guess this is where I'm going now.
I offer you
Here's
the
my-
same choice as to whether you would like to do athletics dexterity to actually be good at dancing, or bureaucracy charisma to just do what is necessary on the dance floor to complete this activity. True introvert energy.
Ooh. Let's see. So it would be dexterity, athletics,
Yep.
or bureaucracy, charisma. Well, I don't have either. My charisma is higher, so I think in this case, he is doing what is necessary and trying to keep her entertained in very much to make it so it doesn't just come off as like a shitty person or a shitty dancer or anything. Just enough to pass. Alright, so that is... It's a +1 for a 14, and then a -1 for not having skill, so it's a straight roll.
What I love is that you're attempting to get your ass level is just good enough, which is exactly what hitting the number exactly should be.
Oh yeah.
I want to be just good enough to perform this.
Just good enough. Go.
Give me those dice. That's
That's
a just good enough kind of roll.
It's a just good enough.
You
Yeah,
perform your part in Honky Tonk Badonkadonk and 3 other songs as she has attached herself to you like some sort of shellfish. Until finally she is too tired from the exertion pushing the alcohol through her bloodstream, and someone nearby is like, "Why don't we get you to your quarters, miss?" And she's like, I'm feeling pretty dizzy, actually. Sure.
I think that would be a good idea.
All right. When she leaves, she says, "Bye, Commander."
That he just kind of smiles and said, "Have a good night."
I don't know how cursed I want to be listing other songs that are now classic square dancing in the future.
This is way too old-fashioned. Banana boat?
Old Town Road.
Or King of the
I
Road.
actually cannot imagine a Little Nas X square dance song, but now I want to make it happen.
I can see it.
Maybe I just don't listen to enough of it. All right.
I once surveyed a planet which was medieval in technology levels. They had regressed for thousands of years, and they had, coincidentally, made Old Town Lane.
Wow.
Way
It's
better
exactly
suited
the
for river
same.
dancing.
Yeah.
Going to take my horse to the Old Town Lane?
Yep.
It's like a Stargate Atlantis episode.
Sounds like it.
Anything else you would like to do at the party this eve?
I think Louis good. Like, he's had a talk with the new lance mate, got a decent-ish rapport, talked with Banner Sergeant Charles. I think he's fine. Also told Private Bullshit to stop saying, "No, here's what we're gonna do."
Can I interject with something? I'm not sure if it's my turn. Okay. So I think
It's your show, Bob.
yeah. Well, Pascal being an opportunist, he wants to know just how bad that. Like, so we're effectively in the thick of this war. He knows that there's currently, people rallying behind the Magistrax's daughter about being against the war. Being against the war isn't an ideal thing for frontliners, and then on top of that, our Merrick companions are effectively an offshoot of the Merricks. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yes, so they're in rebellion against their own government.
I think it's really important then to keep like a yearly pulse on what the hell's happening in that situation, so we have enough time to get out of Dodge if we have to. I think that would be the goal. So, is there any way I can just kind of get rumors from afar?
I mean, I think you've already done that several times today. So instead, I will take what you're throwing at me and move the energy around.
Yeah.
What if instead you try to plan for this so-called gaggle of women who are approaching, specifically to wreck your shit? And by wreck your shit, I literally mean you personally. They're here to wreck your shit.
Yeah, it's fair.
And by your shit, I want to be even more clear. I mean your dick.
Yeah. I'm picking up. Thanks for
Great. Because you're a piece of meat that is at the premium level on the market. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. For what purpose is this? Is this a good time, or are they here to try and lock into formalities?
You don't even have to roll. They absolutely want to lock you in on not a wedding, fiance status, right?
Yeah.
Too dangerous to marry you during a war. But if you can sustain your number one spot, fiance, perfect. It brings them up. You go down, they're just like, oh, not my fiance anymore. Wedding, too much, too dangerous. Also, they don't even know you. But announcing an engagement after a weekend together, reasonable in the Magistracy. Marrying you immediately after meeting you, that's still looked down upon in the same way we would look down on a Hallmark movie. So,
Indeed. I think he wants to create a situation where it seems like he's going to be present and all his sort of like best staff are here, and also at the same time, so simultaneously create somewhere else to be. So effectively, no one knows until he's basically on the way, and it's just Louis and Raoul stuck entertaining, and all the other staff stuck entertaining these women, with the aim of, and it might backfire, but with the aim of kind of like, then it sort of keeps the mystery up, keeps that
Okay.
going. Yeah.
Now, I'm going to
Monte
say this
Cristo.
is a tactics intelligence roll.
Okay.
So it's going to be gradated very specifically. On a bare minimum 6, you will be able to dodge them. On an 8, you will be able to foist their desires off onto Louis and Rahul. On a 10 plus, you will be able to create for yourself an air of busyness, authority, mystery, the true Count de Monte Cristo, Edmond Dantes.
Yeah, there we go.
Who is he? He arrived via hot air balloon. He's
Yeah.
so mysterious.
Yeah.
They say
indeed.
he controls the wind.
Okay, so I do not. Pascal does not have tactics. He is.
That's
however,
very bad.
Yeah, he has an intelligence of 14 though.
That is a +1.
And then what is
Which will
not having
cancel.
tactics to?
That will cancel the negative ones. So you're rolling 0.
Rolling flat. All right.
You need a minimum 6 to pull this plan off. Failure will go badly for you.
Let's do it.
That's a 9.
That is yes,
Damn.
I've been
It's-
rolling
It's a
so
good
differently
roll.
than the last few times. So
right?
A 9 is good enough that you've laid in the groundwork for a sort of Xanatos Gambit series of webbed conversations where you've ordered people, you've handed them like pre-sealed orders where like, if one of these women approach you, open this order and do it. And you've somehow managed to arrange it that these orders will lead the women in a circle and also get them into the attention of Louis and Rahul without ever involving either of them in your plan. Like, for everyone except you, your orders are strange, but it seems perfectly natural that these women keep encountering the two of them over and over again over the course of the weekend. Whereas you, it's always, oh, he was just here, but he had to head out to the veterinarian services. One of the peasant villagers' horses broke his leg, and he's there helping set it personally. With a tear in that person's eye.
even though I have none of those skills, just to be clear, and it's also creeping into Jack Manley's suite of skills too.
Indeed. You are the new Jack Manley.
But only impersonating, impersonations for sure.
Hey, you're a military officer.
Yeah.
And the commander of a base. You have whatever skill set they need you to do.
Yeah, it's fair.
So I've been trying to find Pascal so I can put a proposal before him, but everyone I ask starts weeping and saying that he's trying to lift babies from burning barns, and I'm not certain what's happening.
Who are you
I keep-
asking?
Raoul. I'm
Earl just goes, if I could supply you with a bit of advice, just go with it. It's much easier than dealing with the people.
I need the proposal. I need the proposal ordered so I can't get arrested for going AWOL. So I have to find him. But his comm badge seems to be disabled, and he's not answering any of the messages. And there are 20 for him from strange ladies who are apparently wandering around unescorted on base.
No, the two of you at that moment can feel a bass rhythm. And you turn and you see 4 floating hover Cadillacs of the future, of the 3030s. Each of them has a little flag that has the Magistracy Armed Forces logo, and then next to it has a noblewoman's like house crest, and each of them is playing a different rap song as these four approach, pull in. They just go into the mech bay, like they interfere in military operations as these women get out, and that's where we're gonna stop right there. As the two of you are just like, what is happening?
Can we shoot them?
Oh man.
No, you can't just
yeah.
shoot random women.
And these are
We can't
these are
shoot
like,
random nobles going into the mech bay and interfering with my mech that I paid for.
I was about to say nobles in this setting almost draws back to like they can kind of they get a
Yeah, they can kind of do anything.
Rights. Yeah, they can. I mean, I guess they can in modern culture too, but like if we were like we could go on a raid and like other than some of the political ramifications, we're not going to suffer the same thing as like if our non-noble counterparts did, right? That's kind of
Yeah.
Is that how that works? Yeah.
Louis is very much in like the mindset of we're in a Napoleonic style military. I've got to get this so we can do this, as opposed to no, we're in a Napoleonic style society. But yes, that's lovely. I love them entering to the dulcet tones of rap music.
Indeed.
But it's the 3030s version of rap music, so it's way different than what we understand.
Indeed.
Ooh. 757 meter poems, but set to bass.
Do they care about
Somewhere out
bars
there.
anymore? Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say Shakespeare rolling in his grave right now, right next to Eminem.
Yeah.
I'll put a slug between your shoulder blades, you loathsome jackanape.
Wow, epic rap battles of history. What a reference.
Alrighty.
Bob, it's your show.
Okay.
Can I invite you to do outros?
You can absolutely do so. All right, so we'll just do a quick round on the outros, and we'll close the UAP on the outros. So, I'm Bob. I run this channel. If you liked what you saw, AP runs some pretty awesome games and 2 other Battletech games set in this world and upcoming project, right? AP and in Solaris Knights. Love to hear about that. It's drawn.
That's true. So the thing to know about Solaris Knights is that I will not be talking further about Solaris Knights.
It's Fight Club.
It is a fully edited series that when it is complete, I will begin releasing it. Because it is a game of tactical and strategic deception and espionage, if I start releasing videos early, the players will just be like, oh, so that's who did that to me.
Yeah.
This is full PvP between all the players. So
Love it. All right, so I totally conscripted AP into my outro. Sorry about that, but yeah,
That's
we
okay.
run Pendragon here on this channel. We do that Sundays most weeks, and we actually kind of take a break monthly for AP's game, which is wonderful for me. I get to write this week instead. Yeah, we also play on Tuesdays and Fridays. Come check us out. I will go to Mark next. He's holding his phone.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. I was just checking out our handy dandy Discord. By the way, did you know we have a Discord? Come check us out. Lots of fun things on there, such as shitposting, memes, and whatever the fuck we put on there, as well as updates on whatever we go live, as well as new projects we're doing. We also do Ageless Masquerade there, so come join us, join in the fun, and become a member of our little group of people. I ran out of words.
It was like you were gonna say friends
reaching my
and you
limit for the day.
hesitated. It's like you're like, are we friends though?
Acquaintances,
Yeah.
people I know. But yes, I'm Mark, aka The Cat's Meow. I do a bunch of different things. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and good to involved and be a shitty criminal. Yeah.
Thomas.
I think you're an
Hell yes.
incredible criminal.
Yeah, like you got off
smooth criminal.
scot-free for that. Yeah, you're shitty personality, but great to be around and great at doing what he's doing. But hello, my name is Thomas, and I have been playing Louis Gabrielson, pilot of the Raven Mech, and fully unprepared for what Pascal Leroux has planned. But he's trying to get the war won. He wants to fulfill strategic objectives, and he doesn't know why these people are here blasting rap music on his lawn. These kids should get off. He is 25. But
That's
yes,
their plan.
thank you very much. Indeed. Anyway, I am Thomas. That's me. I don't exist anywhere else at the moment, but there are other projects which I may exist in.
Awesome. And we'll go to you, AP. Anything you want to talk about?
I'm AP Gaming Real. I run a bunch of Battletech shows occasionally. It happens.
Awesome.
Great to be here, Bob.
Thanks for coming again, and we'll see y'all next time. Have a good one.
Farewell!